welcome to the latest episode of Movie Crusaders. My name's Sean Wasserkrug, and today I'm going to be reviewing the latest film to come out on Netflix, Tick, Tick, Boom. Tick, Tick, Boom is the story of the man that created the play Rent, John Larson. And the story basically follows not his creation of the play Rent, but more so his creations prior to Rent. It's basically takes place on the cusp of his the week of his 30th birthday, where he's basically trying to figure out one final song for the play that he's currently working on, which I think is called Superbia. But has to basically navigate, his love life, his friendships, and the pressures of life as an artist in New York City as the world kind of starts crumbling around him as he gets closer and closer to this workshop, and having to deal with also not having any money. This is the first, or the directorial debut of Lin-Manuel Miranda. I mean, obviously, if you don't know who Lin-Manuel Miranda is, I mean, where have you been? Obviously, Hamilton, In the Heights, one of my favorite films of the year. He helped, write both those plays and perform in those films as well. But this is his time actually behind the director's seat. He does have a small, catch it and you miss it role in this film. But we follow John Larson, played by Andrew Garfield, in this film. And it's basically the Andrew Garfield show. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in the most positive way, as you can see through this film. This movie is kind of told. It's kind of told kind of flashbacky in a sense, because you have Alexandria Shipp, who plays Susan, kind of being the narrator of the film. You have Andrew Garfield's John performing Tick Tick Boom, but as he's doing it, you're kind of seeing the story as he's telling it. So there's some fantastical elements to the film on whether or not certain things are real or not real. But you're kind of being interwoven into the story between him performing Tick Tick Boom to what happened in his real life, whether all that is true or not, and basically everything else is happening, which by the end of the film it leads to down the path of where we would have gotten with the play Rent. In terms of performances of this film, I thought Andrew Garfield knocked this out of the park. I think Andrew Garfield is a one-man show here as John Larson. His manic, pretty much almost borderline psychotic in certain respects performance of John Larson, as, like I said, he feels the walls closing in on him. I mean, he's broke. He's living in an apartment that he can't afford. He can't pay his bills. He just quit his job because he wants to focus on this workshop, but then he has to come up with one more song, and he can come up with songs about anything, but for some reason he cannot figure out this one song for this play. Certain situations are happening with his relationship with his girlfriend Susan, played by Alexandria Shipp, who I love, and I think she's great in this role as well. His friendship with his best friend Michael, played by Robin DeJesus, who is also phenomenal in this film. There's so much happening to John in this role that I can understand his kind of breakdown that he's having over this, where he's trying to juggle so many things, he's trying to appease everybody, but he needs to focus on himself and focus on the thing he's been working on for the past 8 years, which is this play. And coming up with a writer's block literally at the worst time is something that you really are kind of rooting for John to basically kind of come through. Like I said, the performance of Andrew Garfield is really what makes this film live or die, and I think Garfield does a phenomenal job as John. His singing in this film, I think, is incredible. I love the fantasticalness of this, where he weaves in and out of song performances. There's a particular song that I really enjoyed with him and Michael, when Michael's moving into his new apartment. They do a song and dance number there. I really enjoyed that. There's another song that John sings while they're at a party that I thought was very fun and energetic. There's so many great songs in this, and as I was watching this movie, the one thing that I kept thinking of is, this is what, and granted, I know it's a different thing, but this is what I wanted Dear Evan Hansen to be to me, is Dear Evan Hansen, to me, just did not work on so many levels. Like, while it did work in some respects, it just didn't work on a lot of other levels. And I felt like with Tick, Tick, Boom, everything worked for me in this film. Now, granted, did I want to kind of see his journey to creating Rent? Sure, but by the end of the film, you are starting to kind of see that. You're just not seeing him. He's got a bunch of puzzle pieces, but he just hasn't figured out the puzzle or the portrait that he's trying to make by film's end. And I would have loved to have seen that journey for him that led to Rent. But the journey that we do go on is a very, very kind of roller coaster ride, to say the least. Other cast members, you got Vanessa Hudgens. She plays Carissa, who's one of the performers for his workshop. I think Vanessa Hudgens, she has some great musical numbers. There's one song she sings right around the third act, or the start of the third act, during the workshop, that I think she knocks out of the park. Joshua Henry plays Roger. He's got some great singing moments in the film as well. I really, really enjoyed this film. Bradley Whitford, he pops up as Stephen Sondheim, which anyone who knows Broadway or plays, that's a pretty big character. Could they have given Alexandra Shipp a little more to do as Susan in the film? Absolutely, but this is a story based on John. But when she does come in, she does a fantastic job as well. She has a musical number in this film as well that'll knock you for a loop. She does such a great job. I love the visualness of this film. I love the way New York looked. I love the way John, or at least Andrew Garfield's performance of John, made you feel like New York was this living, breathing thing, which I give Lin-Manuel Miranda kudos for, because he did the same thing with In the Heights. He made the Heights feel like its own character, and I think he does the same thing with New York, not to the extent of In the Heights, but you can see why John has struggles of wanting to not leave New York, and uses New York for his passion and his artistry, and it's what strives for him to become this person that he wants to be, which is a Broadway music writer. And it's a hard movie to get through, and it's not because that means it's hard to watch. It's heartbreaking. There's certain moments that are very, very touching and very heartbreaking in terms of certain characters. I'm not going to say in terms of spoilers, but the performances nonetheless are great, and I think Andrew Garfield should definitely get recognized for this. This is one of those films that landed on Netflix, but I hope gets acknowledgement come award season, because I think Garfield does deserve at least a nomination for his performance here as John Larson. And I have never seen Rent. It's never been a play I ever wanted to check out, but after seeing Tick, Tick, Boom, I kind of want to check out Rent now. I kind of want to see what this I mean, I know what the play's about, but I want to see this play put together after seeing what the creator did and what the creator had gone through in the stagings of eventually reaching the play Rent. So if anything, Tick, Tick, Boom made me want to watch Rent. So for me, I love this film. This is one of my favorite films of the year, and this is one of those things where I said this on previous reviews, where when you're in a movie theater, you're stuck in your seat, and you're focused on the screen because there's nothing else around you except for darkness and chairs. But when you're at home and you have distractions such as like your cell phone or a laptop or kids, dogs, anything, there's a lot of distractions that keep you from not feeling like you're a part of this film. And when I started Tick, Tick, Boom, I was, playing a video game, and I was kind of doing other things. But within 20 minutes of Tick, Tick, Boom, I completely stopped everything I was doing, and I was focused 100% on Tick, Tick, Boom, like I was at a movie theater, because it grabbed me, and it sunk its teeth into me, and I could not be let go. I didn't touch my phone. I didn't, go look at my laptop. I was focused, and if that's one thing that I can say about Tick, Tick, Boom, is when you watch it, it is going to grab a hold of you. It is going to make you pay attention to this film and keep you from being distracted from everything else surrounding you in the house. And that's why I wish this week would get some releases in theaters instead of just on Netflix, because this film deserves to have your attention all the way throughout. There's also some great cameos for people who know Lin-Manuel Miranda and his performances in Hamilton and In the Heights and other Broadway roles, you're going to see some people that are going to be very, very familiar to you. It was almost kind of like a little scavenger hunt throughout the film where certain people would pop up and be like, oh, that's blank from this, and there's that person from this film. I really, really like this film. I definitely say check this movie out. If you like musicals, if you like this fantastical world, like In the Heights was, where you'll be going through one thing and then all of a sudden they just break out into a song and dance number. I think you're really, really going to enjoy Tick, Tick, Boom. And Andrew Garfield's performance, one of my favorite performances of the year. Definitely go out of your way to check this out on Netflix. If it is in a theater near you, go check it out in a theater. I don't know if it is, though, but definitely check this thing out on Netflix. Going to my overall score, I'm going to give Tick, Tick, Boom a 92%. This is definitely one that I'm going to go back and rewatch, mainly for the performances, especially Andrew Garfield's as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you guys did, go and hit that like, share, and subscribe button to the channel so you guys stay up to date with all the latest videos that pop up on the Movie Crusaders. And of course, don't forget to follow us on all the social media outlets you see below. Coming up next, Brian Michaels and myself will be here for this weekend's episode of the Weekend Crusaders, where we talk about 5 movies that came out during this weekend in movie history. Also, reviews for King Richard, and a non-spoiler and spoiler review for Ghostbusters Afterlife are on the channel as well. So feel free to check all those out. And until next time, in case I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Movie Crusaders.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.